We will now begin the press conference by Foreign Minister Kamikawa. Please go ahead, Minister. I have 4 items at the top. First of all, from the 24th to 26th, I participated in the 2024 Global Women Leaders Summit, which was held in the suburbs of Milan, Italy. The summit was hosted by the Rockefeller Foundation and the Georgetown University Institute for Women, Peace, and Security, and chaired by the Honorable Hillary Clinton, former Secretary of State of the United States of America, and Ms. Marlene Verbeer, the Executive Director of the Georgetown University Institute for WPS. Many incumbent ministers, former ministers and prime ministers, researchers, and women leaders were invited and participated in the summit. We discussed women's participation and leadership in conflict situations, including WPS, in light of the current international situation and global challenges. I served as the lead speaker in the session on advancing women's political leadership and talked about the importance of support that incorporates women's needs and perspectives under the current international situation, which is becoming increasingly uncertain based on my experience of visiting Ukraine, Palestine, and Africa and seeing and hearing firsthand the difficulties faced by women there ever since I was appointed foreign minister. The summit covered various other areas as well, including climate change, countermeasures, SDGs, women's participation in politics, women's leaders in crisis, and other items. I introduced some of the initiatives that the Japanese government is taking, capitalizing on the perspective of WPS. Our government places WPS as one of the major pillars of our foreign policy. I will capitalize the debate that had taken place at the summit as we form our future foreign policy in order to make further contributions to the peace and stability of the international community.
Second item. From the 5th to the 9th of July, if circumstances allow, I will be visiting Cambodia and the Philippines for the first time as a foreign minister. In the visit, based on the 50th year of ASEAN-Japan friendship and cooperation, as a true friend of a heart-to-heart relationship to be deepened, and present-day issues are to be addressed, we will confirm the progress of the concrete cooperation. In Cambodia, through the meeting with the key persons of the government, including Sokchen Saopia, Foreign Minister, we will enhance the relationship with full-managed administration, and based on the long-term cooperation and the development of Cambodia, and we will make a new approach of the bilateral cooperation. Japan has been cooperating with the Cambodia Mine Action Center for many years, and which has become the leading mine action center, not only in Cambodia, but now the center extends support for the third country, including Ukraine. Based on the accumulated cooperation, capturing this opportunity of my visit in Cambodia, we would like to indicate the possibility of the future mine action support. In the Philippines, 2+2 meeting will be held for the foreign minister and the defense ministerial meeting for the first time under the Marcos administration, maintaining and enhancing the free and open international order based on the rule of law. We will share the recognition of the strategic environment as well as confirm the security and the defense cooperation. And a wide range of the cooperation bilateral relationship will be deepened in a wide front.
Third point is with regards to the sexual assault without consent by servicemen by servicemen of U.S. forces of Japan. My heart wrenches with pain when I think about the victim, and we very much regret this incident. And further, we've caused concern on the part of the press regarding response by the government. We've accepted harsh criticism, and we take those points seriously. The investigative authorities make judgment regarding the public announcement of incidents, taking into consideration public interest, the privacy and honor of the relevant parties, whether there is impact to the investigation or the court cases, and they make case-by-case decisions regarding the methodology and the degree of making announcements, and that applies to this incident. Based upon the judgment rendered by the investigative authorities, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs made our judgment and response. On the other hand, taking into consideration the anxiety on the part of the citizens of Okinawa, we must consider how best we can offer information to the local municipalities when such serious cases occur in the future. At the same time, taking into consideration the privacy of the victim and the impact to investigation, MOFA will continue to consult this issue with relevant ministries and agencies. The U.S. government has deep concerns about this incident. They regret that concerns have been caused, and the U.S. government has stated that they will be in complete cooperation with the court case and investigation. Once again, my heart wrenches with pain when I think about the victim. Incidents and accidents caused by servicemen causes much anxiety to the local people, and such incidents must never happen. Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to tap on every opportunity available to convey to the U.S. side to thoroughly implement measures to prevent recurrence.
Next, fourth item. On the 24th of June, there was a Suzhou-Japanese school bus attack incident in Jiangsu province in China. Ms. Hu Yunping, who was injured by the accident, then I learned that she passed away, so I can't stop feeling deep sorrow. She threw herself to prevent the victimization of the Japanese children. So I would like to pay my deep appreciation and respect for her courageous act, and I also would like to pay the sincerest condolences. I would also like to pray for the early recovery of the Japanese mother and the child who was injured in this incident. As the government of Japan, we will work together with the Chinese authorities, and we will make an all-out effort to secure the safety of the Japanese in China. That is all from me.
Those with questions, please raise your hand. When appointed, proceed to the nearby microphone. Identify your name and affiliation. Matsuyama-san, Asahi Newspaper. Matsuyama of Asahi Newspaper. You mentioned the sexual assault by U.S. Forces servicemen. Regarding the December issue, Okinawa Prefecture got to know about the incident for the first time on June 25th, and you mentioned that there were concerns over the privacy of the victims. But what do you think about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs judgment based upon the investigation authorities? You have been personally engaged in various issues regarding sexual assaults. What's your view? And also, if privacy was a concern, as you mentioned, it's already been made public, so the degree of impact would have been the same even if the information had been provided to Okinawa in advance. So what do you think about that? Regarding that issue, the investigation authorities took into consideration the sexual assault and the seriousness. And at the same time, the incident was not made public until the stage of the prosecution, and it was a sexual assault. There could have been very significant impact to the honor and privacy of the victims. And based upon those factors, the investigative authorities made a judgment on whether to make the information public or not. And based upon such judgment by the investigation authorities, MOFA made our judgment. The investigation authorities, as standard procedure, takes into consideration the necessity from the public interest perspective, impact to the honor and privacy of the stakeholders, and impact to present and future investigation and court cases, and makes a vigilant judgment on whether to make the information public or not, and the degree of disclosure. Regarding this issue, on June the 25th, the Naha District Prosecutor's Office decided to make public the outline of the charge. And based upon the judgment by the investigation authorities, MOFA has made decisions on our response.
Nishiyama-san from Kyoto Tsushin. I'm Nishiyama from Kyoto. About the sex crime conducted by the U.S. soldier in Okinawa. I have a question about the curfews or any other, what the sort of responses are considered so long as MOFA received any information from the U.S. side. Could you share with us? About this matter from the U.S. side, they have deep concern. They feel regret that this incident causes great concern. So they will extend the support and cooperation for the trial process. MOFA is asking to the U.S. side to prevent the recurrence of such an incident.
Next question. Ryukyu Shinpon, Akira-san. Ryukyu Shinpon, Akira is my name. Regarding the servicemen's incident, in 1997, U.S. and Japan agreed on the notification procedures in case of unusual occurrences related to USFJ. And I think the MOFA's view is that not all incidents would become applicable, but it's not clear which incidents would be deemed exceptions, and there could be the possibility of arbitrary judgment that may undermine the procedure as formality. What do you think about that? Further, on the 23rd, you visited Okinawa to attend the ceremony on the Memorial Day to commemorate the fallen during the Battle of Okinawa. And this incident was known to MOFA on that day. But then, most of the Okinawa people didn't know about it, and yet you attended the ceremony on the 23rd of June. So what was in your mind as you attended the ceremony? First of all, regarding the notification procedure, you mentioned the agreement in March 1997, notification procedures in case of unusual occurrences related to the USFJ. Agreement through the Japan-U.S. Joint Committee. Now, this decision is made to secure a prompt response by the Japanese side regarding the incident caused by USFJ and to minimize the impact. And therefore, the standards are set within the procedures on the accidents and incidents caused by USFJ that would be subject to notification to the Japanese government and the channel. The incidents and accidents that may cause impact to public safety and environment would be subject to notification to Japan, and they would include incidents and accidents where there is the possibility of causing substantive injury and damage to Japanese citizens or properties, or issues where such possibilities exist. So it is our understanding that it is very clear which incidents would become applicable. At any rate, based upon the appropriate operations of the agreement of the U.S.-Japan Joint Committee, the government will continue our efforts so that any incident or accident by USFJ would not cause any anxiety to the local people. Further, yes, I attended the ceremony on the Memorial Day of the fallen during the Battle of Okinawa, and you mentioned that in your question. On June 23rd, I attended the ceremony. In the Battle of Okinawa, soldiers were fallen, there were people who died from the war, and I recall the spirits of those people and presented my condolences as the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I had already obtained information regarding this incident by then. My heart was feeling pain, thinking about the victim. And the ceremony was also attended by youth. And people were there making efforts not to forget that tragedy. And this ceremony is being hosted year after year, not to forget the tragedy of the Battle of Okinawa. And therefore, I truly felt pain in my heart in this context. But this was a sexual assault. If this is made public, that may cause some problems regarding honor and privacy of the victims. Taking that into consideration, the investigation authorities made a judgment on whether to make the information public or not. Based upon such judgment by the investigation authority, MOFA refrained from making the information public. At any rate, incidents and accidents by U.S. servicemen cause huge uncertainty and anxiety to the local people. This should never happen, must never happen. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, taking various occasions, will continue to convey to the U.S. side that they need to comprehensively implement measures to prevent recurrence.
Next question, TV Asahi. Kei-san, please. My name is Hirai from TV Asahi. Changing topic. So now I would like to talk about the second generation of Japanese residing in the Philippines without having any nationality. So now what is your observation on the current situation? And there are some remaining Japanese in the Philippines that they are getting aged. They are seeking for the recovery of the Japanese nationality. So any plan? After the Second World War, in the midst of confusion, there were many second-generation Japanese Filipino children left without nationalities. As the government of Japan, given the situation of aging of the remaining Japanese in the Philippines, we recognize that there is a need to extend the support for the earlier recovery of the Japanese nationality and a temporary return to Japan. The government conducts an interview to the remaining Japanese in Japan, in the Philippines, to confirm the identification of those people. For the early recovery of the Japanese nationality as early as possible, we will extend the survey. While communicating with the Filipino government, we will extend the proactive support.
Next question, Igarashi-san of NHK, please. Igarashi of NHK. Presidential election of the United States. This morning, Japan time, there was the first presidential debate between President Biden and candidate Mr. Trump. And there was debate on policy matters, and there was, at the same time, very harsh criticism against each other that either one would be the world's worst president. What's your take on this presidential debate? I am aware that the presidential debate was held in the United States a few hours ago. This is a venue where the presidential candidates battle head-on towards the presidential election, and there was high interest amongst the U.S. citizens. U.S.-Japan alliance is the cornerstone of Japan's foreign and security policy, so we constantly monitor the domestic politics in the United States regarding its trend and impact. That is why we focused on the debate. We will continue to monitor the situation of the presidential election, including the results of this debate.
Next question, Murakami-san from JG Press. Murakami from JG Press. I have a question about laws. MOFA expressed its view on laws on its website. So the position was demonstrated that MOFA has an intention to proactively and constructively participate in the international rulemaking. What is the focus point engaging in discussion? The rapid development of the emerging technologies are giving a huge impact on the military front. Given the situation, laws, lethal autonomous weapons systems become one of the important theme for the military management and the disarmament in the field. Looking at the relationship with the existing international humanitarian law and other international laws, it is now quite important to clarify the rules and operational mechanisms on laws. So we will maintain the human-centric principle, and so while maintaining reliability and predictability, the responsible use of such a technology is in the focus. So based on those understanding, we summarize the basic view, and a working document was submitted to the United Nations. Japanese government will engage in the well-balanced discussion on striking a good balance of the humanitarian and the social security aspects, and in order to gain a common understanding widely in the international society, we would like to proactively and constructively engage in the international rulemaking.
Azhari-san, Pan-Oriented Orient News.
Pan-Oriented News. I would like to ask about the sanctions in principle. Despite years of sanctions against Russia and North Korea, both countries seem to have grown stronger, especially in military warfare. Meanwhile, their relations with Japan has developed into an open confrontation. Do you think that your sanctions against Russia and North Korea have not only failed, but also undermined a possible solution, peaceful solution with these countries? Does Japan have an alternative policy, peace strategy to end the enmity with these countries? Thank you.
Regarding the issues pertaining to North Korea, we have a consistent policy. Based upon the Japan DPRK Pyeongchang Declaration, we will comprehensively resolve the issues of concern, including abduction, nuclear, and missile, settle the unfortunate past, and pursue normalization of relationship. Regarding the measures we have taken against North Korea, we thought about what would be most effective in order to comprehensively resolve the issues of concern. That is the basis of our decision on measures. We will continue to study various issues regarding the measures we are taking and take responsible action. Now on Russia, Russia's aggression of Ukraine is an unilateral attempt to change status quo by force, and is an outrage that shakes the foundation of international order of not just Europe, but also of Asia. We have to show to Russia that accompanies a high cost. through G7 and other fora, Japan has been implementing stringent sanctions in partnership with the international community, and we will continue such measures. Due to Russia's aggression of Ukraine, the Japan-Russia relationship is very severe. We are not in any stage to make any specific comments regarding the negotiation of peace treaty. Our position is to resolve the Northern Territories issue and conclude a peace treaty, and we will oppose such policy.
Oya-san from Yomiuri Shimbun. I'm Oyabu from Yomiuri Shimbun. So U.S. and the soldiers in an incident, and I would like to ask a question about the one incident reviewed today. The Vice Minister Okano made the conveyed the message to the U.S. side. And from Mofa to the Okinawa Prefecture, when the information was shared. Well, the Vice Minister Okano provided a comment from the Japanese government to the U.S. Embassy on the 12th of June. So from government to Okinawa Prefecture, there was no formal communication of information sharing. As for the Article 47 of the Code of Criminal and Procedures, whether the case is disclosed or not, and its magnitude are carefully examined, case by case, by the investigation authority. So now this is not just limited now for the case involving the U.S. forces, but based on the investigations authorities and the decision, we are also taking actions appropriately. Last question.
Matsuyama-san, please. Asahi Newspaper. Asahi Newspaper. Matsuyama, one more thing regarding USFJ servicemen. You talked about the standard of the notification procedure, and on the 27th, at the Chief Cabinet Secretary's press conference, regarding December incident, he said that it would be subject to the notification procedure. But to the Ministry of Defense or the Defense, Okinawa Bureau of the Ministry of Defense, has MOFA communicated anything? And also, a different question. This evening, there will be a suggestion made by Kei Danren regarding the introduction of the system of husband and wife having different family names. Now, for the first time in 3 years, in the House of Councillors, discussion or at the LDP, discussions have begun. But what's your view? Your question was on the channel of notification regarding that particular incident. Based upon the agreement between the Joint Committee, Japan and U.S. is communicating thoroughly, and that covers the channel of notification as well, and I will not delve into the details. Regarding the selection of the introduction of different family names between couples, this will have an impact to the wide general public. And there are diverse opinions within the citizens. So in-depth debate is necessary in order to capture wide support from the citizens. From the position of Foreign Minister at CEDAW, the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, there has been a recommendation, and the MOFA has jurisdiction over the convention, and therefore we will consider this issue with the relevant ministries and agencies as we prepare for the next round of screening by CEDAW. Thank you.